Yeah. All right. Eli Ruben, how are you, my friend?
What's going on, brother?
Thank you for coming to Shed Talk.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So, just to give you guys a little introduction for Coach Eli right here. Coach Eli is a father of 4. He's a husband. He's a fireman, and he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt under Tim Crater and at Gladiators Academy. So I'm very honored to have Eli on the show. So thank you for coming, Eli.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna start off by asking Eli a couple of questions, and I think the first thing I want to know about you is I want to ask you a little bit about your career. I want to ask you about being a fireman. When did you know that you wanted to be a fireman?
Oh man, cool, good question. So man, I was teaching jiu-jitsu at the time. I was teaching kid classes, and I think one thing I noticed over the years of teaching kids was that the parents are really involved, and obviously, and they also form a connection with the coaches because I mean, they're literally giving you their kids over and saying, hey, help me mold my child into something better. So I always had a really good relationship with the parents. One of the parents in particular, his name's Ryan Simon. He pulled me aside one day and he said I didn't know it at the time, but he is a fire captain with Lafayette Fire Department.
Wow.
And he said, Eli, he pulled me aside, he said, man, you'd be a great fireman. And I was like, where's this coming from? I was like, thank you, but I don't understand. He's like, listen, I'm a fireman. He said, I've been a fireman for like 15, 20 years. He said, and I just see it in you. Like I think you obviously like helping people. I see you on the mats, and you're always really helpful. Yeah. And you're in good shape. And he said, I don't know, man. Just something in me says you'd be a great fireman. I was like, wow. I was like, man, thank you. I was like, that's, I appreciate that. It's a great compliment. He said, listen, he told me, he said, there's a test coming up. It's a civil service test in, I don't remember, it was like Zachary or something like that. It was a test coming up. He said, go take it. And the worst thing, you don't do great, whatever, but if you do well, the next step, we'll talk about it. But he said, go take the test. And I was like, I don't know, man. Well, I didn't end up taking the test. And my buddy Jules Bruchet, who's also a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt at Lafayette and a coach, he went and took the test.
Oh, okay.
He passed it. He went on and took a physical agility test. He took an interview, and he ended up getting on into the next recruit class for Fire Academy.
Nice.
So I saw that, and I was like, wow. And then I saw Ryan again. He pulled me aside and said, Eli, Jules just got in. What are you waiting for? Yeah. And at the time, I was driving trucks for FedEx. I was a FedEx delivery truck driver. Essential. And it was good. I enjoyed it, but I was getting a little bit tired of just working all day from morning till night, not really being around my family and stuff. And I decided I was going to go take the test. So I took the test and passed it with flying colors. Took the physical agility, it was no problem. Interview, and I got in the next class. So I ended up getting into the recruit academy. Jules Bruchet was in the class before me, cool. And then the following class I got on, and that's awesome. Never looked back. I've been.
So how long has that been?
So it's been 8 years now.
It's been 8 years.
Yeah.
Fire Department. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we've talked a little bit about a lot of the mutual friends that we have with firemen, and it's just a cool thing you guys do.
Thank you, bro. Time flies when you're having fun.
Exactly. So from what a lot of people tell me, it's like you have a certain many days to be there.
Correct.
So you have to be there a certain amount of days per month.
Correct. We work
there.
Yeah, we work about 10 days a month, and our schedule's a little interesting. It's a little strange how it works, but long story short is that we work about 10 days a month, and I think a lot of people, just to touch on the career, is I think a lot of people, when they talk about firefighting and they think of a fireman, what do they think? They think we fight fire, which is true, of course we do, but they don't realize that there's so much more behind it than just fighting fire. We're first responders, of course, and what happens when I say that is that we get called out for so much stuff. We get called out for medical calls. Every medical call in the city that gets called out, we go to them as well as the ambulance. Wow. So if somebody has their child is coughing and choking on something at Burger King, we're there before the ambulance. So we firemen pride ourselves on being extremely fast on our response. We're like lightning strikes and bam, we're on scene. Yeah. So if somebody calls 911, they're having breathing problems at their home, we're there way before the ambulance because we pride ourselves on being extremely fast. We get there. So, not to talk about it too much and try to make a long story short is that we run medical calls. Yeah. We also go to all the accidents that happen in Lafayette, and you can imagine if you're from Lafayette, Louisiana, there are several accidents a day. That's putting it nicely. So we run medicals, we run accidents, We provide the community with different type of services, like going installing smoke detectors and different things like that, going to functions, and then of course fighting fire. So I mean, we stay very busy. And then when we have some downtime, instead of just hanging out and watching TV or something, we go out and we train and we hone our skills and we get better at some of the skills that we use for firefighting.
Could you give me an example?
Sure, like using saws, using chainsaws, K12s, Sawzall even. So
the jaws of life.
Sure, we train with those too. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so it's crazy, but we move all day long. I think sometimes people say, "Oh, you're a fireman, so what do you guys do? You guys drink coffee?" And no, we do. We actually work pretty much all day long, and it's a great job.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I feel blessed, and it all happened from just my connection through jiu-jitsu, and it's funny how jiu-jitsu works like that. But I was literally just hanging out at the gym, and a parent who I didn't know at the time was a fire captain came and said, "Man, you'd be a great fireman." Next thing you know, 8 years later, I mean, here I am, and
that's awesome.
I'm almost a decade into my career.
So give me an idea for what the fire department's looking for. You guys like hiring? Like, is there a certain age group? Is there like some criteria?
Yes. I think basically there's not necessarily an age limit, although we don't really see too many older guys trying to get on. But we're looking for. You'd be surprised. We're not just looking for young, strong guys. We're looking for young, strong, intelligent people. So, we have some tests that you have to take to get on, and you have to go take a civil service test, and these tests include reading comprehension, math skills, so you have to pass those tests, and I feel, that's extremely important because we do want intelligent guys. I want guys that are extremely intelligent, and maybe not extremely intelligent, but guys that have intelligence and are coherent and can follow direction, because if we're on a call and we have to, send firemen to run an errand or accomplish some type of task, we need intelligent guys. I think it's extremely important. I think a lot of times people just say, "Oh, we're looking for strong young guys." We're looking for intelligent guys too.
Guys. Yeah. That's awesome.
I think it's extremely important for the job.
Cool. Thank you for that, Eli.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. Great question.
All right. Cool. Now we're gonna move on to kind of some shed talk-y-ish questions. Although, all right. So the next thing I want to ask you is, what's the craziest fight that you ever witnessed in person?
Craziest fight I ever witnessed in person. MMA fight? Street fight?
Let's go with MMA or jiu-jitsu. Not street fight.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of street fights.
Man, that's awesome. You hit me with an uppercut on that one. That's a tough question. Best MMA fight that I've seen over the years. Gee whiz, man, that is such a tough fight. And I've been watching fights here in Lafayette, Louisiana, since probably around 2005, 2006. I really got into watching it, and at that time there was that we had fights. It was unbelievable. We used to have fights almost. It seemed like at that time, if I recalling years ago, it seems like it was every other weekend. It was at the Blackham Coliseum or the Hyman Performing Arts Center or the Sugar Arena in New Iberia. And man, over the years from 2006 to today, and being an extreme fight fan and just part of the culture, I've seen so many amazing fights. And to pin it down to one is tough. But there's definitely some that are coming to my memory. One in particular, I remember my buddy Justin Meade. Those guys, I'm sure Justin Meade will be on Shed Talk eventually, and he's a professional MMA fighter here in Acadiana, stand-up guy, amazing guy. And I remember watching him. I believe it was in New Iberia at the Sugar Arena, and I saw him fight Trent Moe. Trent Moe is an outstanding professional fighter, amazing. And I was watching Trent Moe tear up the MMA scene, killing it. I call him Green Shins because every time you see him at the gym, he's wearing his green, Thai pads on his legs. So I would call him Green Shins. But Trent was killing it. Trent was murdering folks. I mean, he was just such an amazing, talented young fighter, hungry. And I saw the match coming up that in New Iberia that Trent Moe was taking on Justin Meade, and I was like, wow. I was like, this is gonna be a barn burner, and it was a barn burner. These guys, back and forth action. It was a slugfest. The guys were getting after it, and man, Justin Meade impressed the heck out of me. And this is years ago, this match. And later, when I talked to Justin about it and told him I remember that fight, he was in awe. He was like, how do you remember that? I didn't even know people knew who I was back then. Wow. He's very humble. Yeah. But long story short, at the end of the match, it was getting close to the end of the match, and Justin Meade finished the fight with an arm bar. And I was blown away, man, because I thought in my mind I didn't know Justin Meade that well at the time. Had I known how ferocious and his heart and integrity was, I would have given him more credit. But I believe Trent Moe was going to win that fight. And when Justin Meade, it was a slugfest because I remember it being a great match. When Justin Meade finished with an armbar, I was like, wow! I was like, unbelievable. And I never forgot Justin Meade after that. And he's been definitely a friend and somebody I've looked up to, and just I'm impressed with the guy just all around. So that was definitely a fight I remember very well.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
I know Justin pretty well from our time at the gym. Justin's a stand-up guy, and I would love to have Justin on the show, man. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you for that. I hope that fight's on YouTube or something that way, or Facebook. Maybe I could try to find that and
maybe
plug it in there. That'd be cool, man. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Now I got a question for you. This one's a little bit more personal. Okay. I want you to dig deep in your memory bank.
Sure.
And I want to know which belt promotion of all the belt promotions that you've had was the most significant to you.
Wow. That's a great question, man. Listen, everybody that all the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts out there can tell you that, getting your black belt is one of the most amazing moments in your life. It's like the years and the blood, sweat, and tears you put into it is like earning a PhD. My brother, my mom are both PhDs, and they can agree with me. And getting your black belt is one of the most amazing accomplishments of my life. But I tell you what, getting my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt was amazing. It was like when you get your purple belt, you've made it. Yeah. I think they say, I forget the statistics, but somewhere around like 80% of human beings that attain the rank of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt will be black belts one day. So I think that it's just you're really part of the club when you make purple belt, and it felt amazing. There was a promotion 6 months before I got my purple belt, and Alex Lane, Rob Laney, Christian Fulgham, and some other guys got their purple belt that day. And my boy Matt Schnell got his purple belt the same day. And I'll never forget, man, that I was just kind of like, I thought my name was going to get called with those guys, and I thought I was getting my purple belt. And when I didn't, it hurt a little bit, and I was out in my car, and the promotion was over. We had some food after, and we really just had a nice little celebration. And I got in my car and just kind of was meditating and thinking on it, and I was a little bummed, and Christian Fulgham was leaving, and I was kind of one of the last cars in the parking lot, and he saw me, and he walked up. And when we talked, and it was like, I kind of got choked up, when he asked me, he was like, "You all right?" And I was like, I kind of got choked up a little bit, and I was like, man, I've been working really hard, and I kind of thought I was going to get my purple belt today, and I didn't. And he said, look, he told me how much he cared about me and respected me, and he said, listen, keep grinding, you're going to be a purple belt one day. He said, but you only get to be a blue belt once. So enjoy it, and you're gonna make purple belt before you know it. And 6 months later, I got my purple belt, and it meant the world to me. I was like, I made it, And so purple belt
that's awesome.
Tore me up. I was so excited.
Good. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, dude. Great question. Thanks for asking.
That's a good one. I like that. All right. A little bit lighter note. What's your favorite fruit?
My favorite fruit?
Yes, but you can only have this fruit for the rest of your life.
Ah, easy. Mango.
Mango!
Whoa!
Yeah, nice. I love it. Mangoes are awesome. I have a video on YouTube about how I cut mangoes. So yeah, you should check it out if you how do you cut your mango?
I cut my mango. It's standing tall, and you got the flatter sides. I slice them right off. I'll go around the other edges, and I don't leave no mango meat.
Yeah. And
then I'll slice kind of like an avocado. I'll slice some lines, some other lines, and I'll fold it and flip it, and the little cubes come out. And I just pop the cubes off, throw it on a chicken salad or something, or just put it on a plate and eat it.
Awesome.
Off subject, but Elliot makes amazing espresso.
Hey, you already know. And with the help of a fine team here at the shed.
That's right. There's people behind the scene. Yeah. We're not gonna spoil it, but.
Yeah. We definitely have some people taking care of us.
Great team.
Yeah. Thank you for all of you for all of that. All right. Cool. Thank you, Eli, for the mangoes.
Yes, sir.
Because I like mangoes.
I love mangoes.
I think it's my second favorite fruit.
What's your favorite?
Grapefruit.
Ah.
Yeah, I do
Yum.
grapefruits like in the mornings. I feel like it's got more medicinal. for medicinal purposes, I feel like when you taste grapefruit, it just tastes like medicine. You know what I mean?
It does.
I feel like
I agree.
Yeah, it's got that medicinal taste, and that's why I like grapefruit.
Interesting.
I feel like I crave it a lot.
That's awesome.
All right. Thank you, Eli. All right. Put your fireman cap on, okay? Thinking about all the people in the world, okay, on planet Earth. You can only save one person. Or is that too deep? Should I not say, hey, you can only save, all right, if you could save any human on the planet outside of your family, we're gonna go ahead and put that out because that's a given. You can obviously save them all at once. Okay. If you could save any other person on the planet and you had the chance to save them from so who would you save and how would you save them? What kind of experience would it be?
That's an interesting question. And this is a fire?
It's a fire, yeah. I think fire. It'd be a burning building or burning car, but it's up to you to get them out. And you don't know it's them.
Right.
But when you see them, you're like, oh my gosh.
That's a crazy question. Being, over the years, firefighting and then also my martial arts experience, and I know Elliot has a huge background in martial arts and wrestling. One of my favorite, which is hilarious because I'm a fireman, or should I say not hilarious, but an interesting coincidence, is one of my favorite ways to carry a person or to do a takedown is a fireman's carry. So I think that I definitely use that and I bring that into my firefighting field, and I love the fireman's carry, so I would definitely, if I had to lift somebody and get them out, I would hit me a little fireman's carry, snatch them up and get them out, baby. With our protective equipment, which is very, very effective and very, very elite level gear that we use. Our masks, our helmets, our jackets are very, very effective. So they're not necessarily fireproof, but they're extremely fire retardant. So I trust my gear, and I would just basically, I would do a fireman's carry, hit them up, and get them out quick, and get out. A lot of people will stay low, where the oxygen is better low, and the smoke will rise. But honestly, if I need to get somebody out, I don't necessarily want to drag. I want to lift them and cook out of that place, So I feel like that's what I would probably do.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, yeah. Thank you for that.
Great question.
Did you have a specific person that you would save? If you could save any person, how would you save them? Like a specific human.
Yeah.
Is there anybody out there that you would be like, it would blow your mind to save this person?
It would blow my mind if I got him out and laid him down, and it was my boy, Master Rodrigo Medeiros.
Yes.
That would blow my mind. I'd be like, I just saved the master.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Eli. That was awesome. And you have him on your shirt here?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I just got a gift in the mail from Rodrigo Medeiros. He made these lineage T-shirts, and they're insane. Beautiful shirts. It's got Jigori Kano here, Mitsu Maeda, Carlos Gracie Sr., and this is our lineage and how they work down, and Carlson Gracie Sr., and then Carlson Gracie's most technical black belt, Mr. Rodrigo Medeiros from San Diego, California. So yeah, awesome. He sent me this, and I couldn't thank you enough, Rodrigo. I love the shirt. Thank you, brother. I got one coming in the mail for you. It's on the way.
Man, that's awesome. I never had the pleasure to meet Rodrigo, but I've heard many amazing things from a lot of different people. Tim and
he's amazing. If I can tell a quick story about
sure.
Rodrigo. I've told this story in the past. Some of my students will remember the story. I think I told it on another podcast, but I'll tell it quickly. In my experience over the years, coming up through the ranks and being with Professor Tim Crater for 12 years now. He was always there. When I would go to competitions and stuff, he was always there. He would be on the sidelines, on the mats, all the way up through white belt, blue belt, purple belt. When I was competing, I'll never forget that Professor Tim was always there for us. And he would be on the sidelines screaming instructions at me. Eli, get the underhook. And he'd be screaming at me. And he told me that it was the same for him when he was coming up. Master Rodrigo Medeiros would always be there at the tournament screaming at instructions at Tim. You have to get ready, Tim. But his English wasn't great. Now, he hadn't been in the United States that long, and his English wasn't great. And so he would always tell Tim before matches, he would say, Tim, be fox. And it was like, okay, Tim's like, yeah, I'll be a fox. I'll be nimble, I'll be quick. I'll hop around the mat, So now Tim's like a blue belt, and now he's a purple belt, and Rodrigo's still on the sidelines. Tim, be fox. And Tim's like, yeah, no, I'm a fox. Rodrigo, I've been a fox for the last 5 years, you know? So now Tim finally, he gets his brown belt, and now Rodrigo's English is getting much better, you know? And Rodrigo grabs Tim before the tournament, and he says, Tim, don't forget, be focused. And Tim's like, what? He's like, I've been a fox for the last 6 years, and you wanted me to be focused? So I love that story.
That's awesome. The translation has become complete once the brown belt has happened. That's awesome.
I heard another black belt talking about his instructor used to scream at him all the time, out there juice! Out there juice! And the guy's like, what is this juice I'm supposed to be drinking? And later he found out that the guy was saying adjust.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Add the juice. Add the juice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Rodrigo, thank you for everything you do. Definitely gonna post a picture of Rodrigo on this one and give him some recognition. That's awesome.
My brother.
Yes, awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, Eli. Easy question here. Super easy. Aliens.
Aliens.
What's up?
100%.
100%.
100.
Easy.
Easy.
Easy. Like, all right, so are they invisible? Are they skin? They're shapeshifters?
It's a tough question.
Are they?
It's a tough question. I don't know. They could be invisible. You know, I know that they're out there. I know that there is other life forms. Yeah. Aliens, heck yes.
Yeah.
Other intelligent life forms in the universe, 100%. You know, are they invisible? Maybe. Are they shapeshifters? Could be. You know, I don't know 100%, but 100. I mean, come on. Yeah. Intelligent life out there, 100%. Yeah. Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you. I'm glad we got it out of the way. What about nanotechnology? So think about invisible suits. Mm-hmm. Is that a thing already? You think there's out there these invisibility cloaks that basically it's got 1 billion cameras on it that just project what's around it?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Micro suit and fibers.
I'm not 100% on that one, Elliot. Yeah. I'm on the fence.
Okay, cool. All right, good. All right, I'm glad we got that out of the way. All right, because I've been, just curious out there if anybody else is seeing the stuff that I'm seeing, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not necessarily seeing it. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. Anyway, all right. Next question.
I love it.
All right, gratitude. Give me 2 things that you're most grateful for.
Man. All right, so number 1, 100% my wife. I've at different times in my life, I've lost people and quote unquote been abandoned, and man, my wife has never given up on me ever, and I'm so thankful, to have somebody like that. She never gave up on me. She's always been there for me. I saw something years ago. We talked about this in the past, me and Elliot, and I read something. It said, be the person you needed when you were younger. Yeah. And I read that before I became a father. And man, when I read that, it touched me so hard. I wanted to do that. I wanted to be the person I needed when I was younger. I wanted to help people. And what I realized, talking about gratitude with my wife, what I realized was my wife has been doing that this whole time. She is the person that I needed when I was younger. I needed some positive influence in my life. I needed somebody that was going to show me the right way about loyalty and integrity and loving thyself and all those things. And I learned that from my wife, and I realized that she was the person that I needed in my life when I was younger. Luckily, I have her now. I'm so grateful to have my wife, man. She's amazing.
So just for you people that don't know out there, your father came from Israel?
So, no, my dad's from Pittsburgh, and my mom's from Cincinnati. But for religious reasons, my parents moved to Israel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then, so Eli's, it's like a 1 in a million chance that Eli ended up here in Lafayette, Louisiana,
it's
Pittsburgh,
true.
Seattle. He's, has an amazing story, and from what we were talking about earlier, it sounds like he's just in the right place at the right time.
Yes.
And looking for the right things. And
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, and it's very interesting to hear that perspective from Eli. He's been here for 20 years, and he's basically been adopted and adopted our culture as his own. And it's cool to see that that you found your perfect match here in Louisiana.
I did, man.
You found your queen. That's good.
I did, man. I was in the right place at the right time, And like Elliot said, crazy to hear my story, and we won't tell the whole thing or my tale, but to go from Israel to Pittsburgh to Seattle to, you know, the dirty South in the boot. And to find my wife, you know, we have 4 beautiful children, and Elliot was talking about gratitude and being grateful, you know, and I said, you know, first thing I got to give it up to my wife, and next, you know, just touch on gratefulness again, and my next, you know, thing is that is you know, when Elliot said at the right place at the right time, that hit me, and I thought about something was that I'm so grateful that I think a lot of people that are successful, and I'm not saying necessarily that I'm successful, but I'm saying that successful people, a lot of times, there's some luck involved, and a lot of these successful people over history, historically, some of those people have just been in the right place at the right time, Elliot. They have. And I felt like I'm so grateful that I was in the right place at the right time. When I walked into Gladiators Academy of Lafayette, it was next to the Piggly Wiggly off of Westgate Road in little Scott, Louisiana. And I walked in there, and at the right place at the right time, I was like maybe like the 10th student in the history of the club. I walked in, and I see like Eric Scallion and Dustin Poirier like licking blood off their MMA gloves when I walked in, and I was like, I'm in the wrong place. And they're like, no, come in, you're in the right place. And you know, I was like, and you know, I just said, you know what, I'm doing it. And I signed my name on the dotted line, and I'm so grateful. I was in the right place at the right time, and these guys changed my life. And Crazy Tim and Josh Artigue changed my life, and you know, gave me something to look forward to. And so I'm really grateful that I was lucky enough to just be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. Yeah. Thank you for that, Eli.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. 1 second.
Dude, is that crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, that juice. What? I'm saying adjust.
And the juice. All right, Eli. Enough fun and games. Now it's down to the hard stuff.
Oh, snap.
All right. I didn't have a question written down for this, but I wanted to touch on it. You know, I've been doing Shed Talk for, 15 episodes now, and I haven't really sat and told my story, and that's not really the point of the show, but I have a little story about, you know, my battle with addiction and, you know, just being a selfish person and, you know, some other things that I had struggled with as a younger man. And, you know, I would be remiss if I didn't touch on some of those things that I have changed over time in my life. And there was a point, just for you people that don't know, you know, I didn't have a why anymore. I didn't really, you know, have anything to do with anybody else besides myself. And I was always looking for the right person to kind of help me, fix me, and like, you know, pour me and all this other stuff. And you know, I was full of potential, you know, full of it, but no real, you know, like clear-cut path of how to claim that potential. And you know, I
love this. I love you sharing this.
I had showed you earlier that picture that I got from Gulf Coast Homes. It's a picture of a wave, and it says, "Do it now." And it says, the moment you start moving towards a worthwhile goal is the moment you become successful. And you know, that I couldn't express to people out there that do struggle and they want to make a change in their life and they don't know exactly how. They don't know exactly how. Well, the way how to stop, you know, to make that kind of change is to start moving towards a goal. Mm-hmm. And you know, belts are great goals. You know, belts are great, and I think just becoming disciplined and, you know, putting in time into, you know, doing something that's hard is moving towards a worthwhile goal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? In my opinion. So
yeah,
whether it's getting a good job and wanting to excel at that job, or be early at your job and stay late at your job, and you know, whatever it is that you do that provides other people, you know, with a service or anything that you can do to help another person to get outside of what you got to do to be better, is kind of what I think it takes to get past that mm-hmm. that type of demon. So, you know, I guess I just I wanted to ask you, you know, about a little bit about your past and stuff like that. If there's anything, so I guess at what point did you really, you know, start moving towards that goal, and what goal was it that really kept you or started to move you in a different direction?
Okay.
So you said you wanted to be the right person.
Yeah, I definitely, man. I remember that, reading that, man, and it touched me. It was I read, be the person you needed when you were younger, you know. But you know, I came from a very similar past, like Coach Elliott. You know, I came from really, really humble beginnings. You know, I was telling Elliott before, we've had many conversations. We've been friends a long time, and we go golfing together. We went and hit a round at Muni the other day. It was really fun. And we've had some conversations in our time as brothers, and you know, and we have shared some stories with each other. And one I shared with Elliott was, you know, like I said, we all kind of come from humble beginnings, and you know, there's lots of people that grew up poor. You know, I grew up extremely poor, and so have many people have grown up poor. You know, we were, to give an example, you know, I told Elliott, and I tell you guys, is that, you know, at one point, you know, I remember vividly sitting around the dining room table for Thanksgiving dinner, and me and my brothers were all sitting on Rubbermaid garbage cans, you know, because we didn't have any chairs. We sat on garbage cans, and we would eat Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, that was, you know, that's pretty. That's intense. Yeah. So, you know, but I had a great childhood. You know, I grew up poor, but very great childhood. I had 3 live-in playmates. I have 3 older brothers. So, we had bicycles, and we would go out and we'd dig for worms and go fishing. And, you know, I had a wonderful childhood, man. But later, you know, it's very similar to Elliott and many of other people's stories. You know, later, you know, I definitely was introduced to drugs, and, you know, just I found like-minded individuals. When I found drugs, I found people that liked drugs. Whenever I got into those same friends, you know, when I moved to Seattle, Washington, when I left Pittsburgh and we moved to Seattle, I found more like-minded individuals. I found people that did drugs, and those people also motivated me and influenced me to do other things like crime and theft and vandalism. And man, I was just, my teenage years from like, you know, 13 to 18, I was in and out of juvenile detention centers like every other weekend, it seemed like. I mean, I lived inside juvenile detention centers. I was not a good criminal. I would get caught. Yeah. And so, you know, I had a checkered, troubled past, but, you know, I have to attribute most, if not all, my success and my bringing myself back out of that hole and building myself into a better man. I give most, if not all, my credit to martial arts, you know. And I found martial arts. I read some books that were handed to me by Professor Tim Crater that really motivated me to change my life. And martial arts, and especially Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo, gave me something to look forward to, gave me a goal that I wanted to get better at martial arts. And you know, I just thrived on that, and I thrived on trying to be the person I needed when I was younger. And man, I never gave up. Rodrigo Medeiros told Tim years ago, and if you look at Rodrigo Medeiros' old patches that he would put on his gis and give to students, he gave me a patch years ago, and on the back of it, it says, "Never give up, because only the strong survive." So I never gave up. Yeah. I hear him and Professor Tim in my head sometimes when I'm fighting a fire and I don't have anything left in my tank. I hear Tim in my head saying, "Don't give up, Eli. Only the strong survive." And I keep moving. I go out and I run 6 miles in the morning, and on my last 2 miles, I just want to walk the last 2 miles. But I hear them screaming in my head, "Don't give up, Eli. Only the strong survive." And I continue and I push on, and the body can go a lot farther than when the brain wants to give up, you know. And I've learned that. But so.
Absolutely.
That's definitely to kind of touch on, you know, a little bit of my past, and just kind of a goal I had was just to be a better man, and through martial arts, and you know, I feel like, you know, I never gave up, and that's the only reason that I've made it to where I am today, to be a father, and you know, to be a fireman, and you know, amazing. You know, I got to pinch myself every morning and that I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. Like, I still don't believe it. You know, I got my black belt in 2018, and I'm still trying to convince myself that it happened.
You know? That's awesome, man. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
You heard it, man. Jiu-jitsu, anything that you can, martial arts, you know what I mean? It's one of those things that humbles you so much. Every day, you got to show up with a clear head. If you don't show up with a clear head, you don't have a chance. You know, it's really a way to test yourself and become the man that you want to be. You know, whenever I was dealing with some of my issues, you know, I had older gentlemen advising me, saying, stop looking for the right one. The moment you stop looking for the right one and being the right one is the moment you find the right one. You know, so I think for myself, is I had to take about 2 or 3 years of just focusing on, you know, myself being a better person, and you know, taking my family out of the situation, taking, you know, old friends out of the situation, and just being there for myself to become a better man, and take all, you know, full on what I look at myself in the mirror every morning, and be proud. Until I could look at myself in the morning in the mirror and be proud, then it was kind of hard for me to have anyone else look at me and say, oh yeah, I like, this is my guy, you know. So
that's
deep. Thank you, I appreciate it. That's one piece of advice for anybody struggling. I would say, you know, stop looking for the right one and just be the right one. The right one's gonna show up. Thank you, bro. All right, cool. So what's a goal? What's one goal that you have for the future? If you could do anything, what's your goal?
Yeah, I got a goal. You know, my wife, she will tell you that, she says this to people all the time about me when she describes me. She says that I'm a couple sandwiches short of a picnic. Okay? So I'm a little crazy. And most people that keep coming back for the beatings are, you know, they're a little crazy. But she's not talking about that. She's talking about, I never stop. I guess I get up in the morning and I move from, you know, the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. I'm always doing something, and she says, and I guess I can agree, is that I'm kind of like a piece of toast, and what I can do in a day is like a little piece of butter, and I spread it, and it's just, there's just not enough butter, you know, it just, but I want to do more, and my goal, I'll tell you, I want to do more. What I mean by that is that I have 4 kids. I coach at Gladiators Academy. I'm doing the firefighting. I also work a couple other part-time jobs. I work for the courthouse downtown for city court. I teach for a long time at a firefighting facility that teaches offshore workers how to firefight. And so, you know, I guess you could say my piece of butter is spread pretty thin on my piece of toast, but I want to do more. And my goal, my next goal, it always comes back to, and I sound like a broken record sometimes when I get interviewed and we talk about stuff, and I sound like a broken record because I keep coming back to stuff, but my goal, and I want to go back to what I said earlier, is what I read, is that I want to be the person I needed when I was younger, right? And something that my goal is that I want to volunteer for the Big Brother organization. Right. Yeah, I want to be a big brother, which is definitely a goal of mine. Obviously, with a pandemic going on, it's not an opportunity right now. But once it clears up, that's a goal of mine. I want to work for. I want to be a volunteer for the Big Brother organization. Yes, I have 4 kids, and they need my time. But I feel like I can donate some time to a kid out there that needs a positive influence in his life, that needs a male positive influence in his life. And one opportunity that I spoke with them in the past, one opportunity is that a middle school in Lafayette, it's called LJ Alamo. They have an opportunity at their school for lunchtime. I think you come like once or twice a week, and you have a boy who needs just a positive influence in his life, and you have lunch with him, and you just talk with him, and you just have lunch with him. And it's something that I want to do. It's a goal of mine, is that I want to do some more volunteer work, and I want to work with more kids. Awesome. You know, so that's my goal.
That's awesome. Thanks for that.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, because I've been, kind of, making my way into the kid fitness industry, and I want to develop young athletes and help them develop their mindset, their physicality, and their overall performance and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I never really wanted to work with kids, I did want to have kids, but then, it kind of just got to the point to where I was like, I'm not really ready to do my best job as dad yet, so I'm not, at the moment ready to have kids, because there is also so many kids out there that need help, and it's one of those things that it takes a special kind of person to go and give that kind of talent to someone that's not their kid, and I think that's amazing.
Thank you, and I see you killing it on the working with the kids, doing that right now. Elliot's doing a summer camp, fitness, strength academy, and I see some videos, man, and I'm in awe. Like, awesome. You're killing it, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, we really try over here at the shed and to provide some quality coaching for young athletes, and that's really our goal is to.
It's amazing.
Is to be not only good coaches but good role models and good influences on the young kids, and
oh yeah,
that's kind of our goal. Cool. All right. Well, I forgot where I wanted to go. Oh yeah. Anyway. All right. Mind, body, and spirit. Okay, you could say something that goes for all three of those things, like a blanket answer.
Okay.
Or it's got something that benefits you in your mind, your body, and your spirit, and it could be one for each, or it could be blanket for all three. But so what's Coach Eli got to have for you to be mentally fit, physically fit, and spiritually fit?
Man, that's a great question. I guess I've always kind of had, not always. When I became when I got in my 20s, I developed a addictive personality in my 20s. I started to develop an addictive personality. I would find stuff that I enjoyed, and I would go crazy with it. I found years ago in my early 20s, I found Texas Hold'em, and I fell in love with it. I couldn't stop. I'd play Texas Hold'em all day, and I was just addicted. Then, I'm going somewhere with this. Then I found disc golf.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you, I fell in love with disc golf. I was totally 100% addicted. I took Texas Hold'em and tossed it in the garden. I got rid of it.
That's awesome.
Disc golf was my life. I played disc golf for like, let's see, I would say I played disc golf for like 7 years, every day.
Wow. That's a lot.
I was in the advanced division. I was on the verge of going pro. Yes, there's a professional disc golf scene out there. I was on the verge of becoming a professional disc golfer, and I found Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I kicked disc golf to the curb, and I was addicted to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I've been with Jiu-Jitsu ever since. But for mind, body, and spirit, I gotta have some disc golf in my life. I love it. I play with Crazy Tim. I play with Heath Henry, John Jordan, Ryan Fontenot, Connor. Uncle Connor, and it's so much fun. There's something about disc golf. It's about being out in nature. It's a walk through nature. So there's some physical, that's the body part of mind, body, and spirit. You go out there and you have to use your mind, and you have to, figure out your shot, what you're gonna do, and then it just brings it all together and enhances and makes your spirit shine and glow. Just being in nature and being with your friends and doing something. So I really feel like, for me to keep my mind, body, and spirit intact and to stay true to the roots of Eli, man, I got to get some disc golf in at least, a couple times a month, and just be out in nature, be on the course, be with my friends, and throwing some discs and just having fun. So disc golf is a huge part of my mental health and bringing together my mind, body, and spirit. Who would have thought? Disc golf? Yes.
I would have thought, man, that literally is like my peace. That's my crutch. Like, I look at it like, okay, I'm in town. Like, if I'm ever don't have exactly somewhere to go, like right now, like I'm the kind of guy that stays up and does stuff all day and tries to do as many things.
Right.
Kind of, I'm pretty busy, but I have to, and I do this often, when I have 2 hours, 3 hours of time to kill.
Yeah.
I go and stop at the park and I play 9 or 10 or 9 or 18 or
I had
whatever.
no idea.
Dude, I do that by myself.
Wow.
On the reg.
Yeah, me too. I'll play by myself.
I'll pull out, every 2 weeks usually at
mental
the
health.
most. Yeah, and I'll just go walk it out.
Yes.
Get some meditative movement.
Do the same thing.
I like to call it.
I don't leave my crib without a couple of discs in my truck. Like right now, I have some Frisbees in my truck. I'm ready to go sling them. Dude, I had no idea you played.
What time do you? Well, what do you got going the rest of the day?
Dude, we're gonna play.
Hey, let's go, dude! I'm so happy, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so, just like that, man. You put yourself out there. You tell people what you like to do. You put it out there. Things that you want. I wanted to have Eli on the show, and then I wanted to get to know Eli and have some fun with him and hang out with him like a brother. And now we done played disc golf. We done strangled each other this week. We done, you know what I mean? We done ate. We done played golf. We're gonna play disc golf today. We're gonna throw some Frisbees.
Man, I really enjoyed having that meal with you the other day.
Me too, man.
That was fun.
That was good to get to know you.
Dude, spending time with you has enhanced my life, bro.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. So, man, I just want to thank you for coming on Shed Talk. Everybody, when the show first started, they're like, man, you gotta have Eli. I'm like, yes. Yes. I gotta build my show to where it can have such a personality like Eli, a black belt, and I wanted to like start, getting to some of the black belts and having some of you guys on, and it's been a real treat to have you and Tim, and I've had some other people that I've invited that I'm gonna invite, all the owners of all the gladiator schools. That's I'd like to invite Jared, Eric, and Christian to come on the show, and that would be amazing for me. Next, a big treat for you guys. Next on the show is going to be Professor Josh RT. And I couldn't be more honored to have Josh here at the shed, and I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, Josh, for coming forward.
That dude changed my life.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch that episode.
Yes. So
well, thank you, man. Thank you so much for what you've been doing. Thank you so much for having Shed Talk and giving guys like us an avenue to talk a little bit and just kind of share some of our stories and our background, man. I really appreciate you too. You're doing a great thing, man. I'm proud to call you friend.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, Eli. Man, let's go play some TikTok.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Good one, bro. That was fun.
Yeah.